All right, g'day everyone, and welcome to a live Zoom Facebook meeting that I'm just running here with the lovely Jess. Jess, how are you today?
Amazing. Hi, everyone.
I appreciate all of you that are on watching this live with me now. I also appreciate the ones who'll be listening this via, or they'll be on my YouTube and or the podcast. So thank you very much. But I thought we'd do a live stream today, more just to show a few things. Jess has been with me now for, what's it been now? About a bit over a month, thereabouts.
Yeah, I think I worked it out yesterday, like 6 weeks.
6 weeks. 6 weeks through trading, learning how to trade through the Trade House platform that I've been a part of now for almost a year, which is crazy to think that time's gone super, super fast. And yeah, we just wanted to be able to come on here, one, to sort of give you an update on how I'm going as well. It's been a while since I've spoken on a live about how I'm going, but also how Jess has been going through the platform, being someone who's virtually new and only just started into the live trading. It's been really cool. She's been an A student. No, I haven't really had to do too much. It's just showing her the ropes, following the process, and she's making that transition now. But just you want to sort of, I guess, to get everyone started is like, what interested you about trading? Like, why did you want to even have a look at this as an opportunity, as well as tell us a little bit about your background, like what it is that you do already. I know you got the little one there and it doesn't matter. I like that.
Yeah, I got my girl here. So yeah, I've been in like business or online space for 8 years. So I started network marketing, and then I moved into affiliate marketing. And then the start of this year, I really got into crypto, and that went amazing. And being a new mom, like my girl's just turned 1, just to make an extra income from home so I didn't have to go back to work was what I was really looking for. So I really loved the crypto space, but it was also really volatile and I didn't have a lot of control over it. And obviously me and Dom, we go back, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years now. We were in the same network marketing business. And I just trusted your instincts too. Like, you know, we just connected you up to the Sunshine Coast now too. And I know like the type of person you are, and I know when you see something and it's good and it's got value, luckily you're like me, you share it. And yeah, just really intrigued. I never looked into trading before, but obviously because I again never thought I'd get into crypto and really loved that and got into that, I was just really open-minded about it. And I thought it would be such a cool way to learn like a skill set that essentially can set me up without having to essentially have like a business or like have to talk to people or recruit people or build anything if I didn't want to. It was just a way for me to really take control of my financial situation. And as a mum, that's super important to me, especially with what's happened with COVID and, you know, everything that's going on with the world right now. So basically it was just a way for me to really take control of my financial situation and to obviously grow my wealth even further, because I'm very big on multiple streams of income and really want to set things up for my daughter. So that's pretty much why I got into it and why I was interested in it. And look, it was definitely like a foreign language when I started. I was like, oh my God, like what is this? What have I got myself into? And to be honest, I actually thought it would be really easy. And I thought it'd be really hard, but it wasn't either. It was just literally learning a whole new, like if you're learning a new language, you've just got to study it and learn it. And I just found after being really consistent and the platform was phenomenal in that way. I'm a very visual learner and I really loved that they just individually went through everything for people like me, but also having, you know, the professional traders do live trades and have all that stuff recorded as well, where I've been a part of stuff before and you've got to be on live, and if you're not on live you miss it, you know. So I love that everything was recorded, so people who, you know, like sometimes I'll trade in the afternoon, other times I'll be trading at nighttime, and I can work it around my daughter so easily because it's open 24/7. There's no like limit to it. And it's the same with, I suppose, the mentality of it all. I've definitely grown patience and just the personal development side of it. I really love it. It's very different. And, you know, the collective that we're around and the calls that we get to be a part of it really opens your mind to a whole new perspective of the world, but also how it all entwines with trading as well. It's not just about making money. And I think once you understand that and you open yourself up to the possibilities, it can absolutely break you free in so many other ways than just making money. Like I think a lot of people come into it like I did, essentially to make money, but then you start to realize there's so much more depth there if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, you explain that better than I could ever explain any of that stuff. That was really good. I was actually like,
Okay.
you're really just, I'm so proud of the way that you've applied yourself, and that's probably the biggest thing, is because I've had a lot of people that have come through learning, and levels of learning is always dependent on you and how you apply yourself. And I think for you personally, Jess, absolutely incredible, because it's just been like, here's what I did, here it is, and you just like run with it, like pass you the ball and you just run with it, and that really comes down to the personality that you are. But I think, like, before we get into too much nitty gritty more of the trading side of things, I just think, like, I know when it comes to my podcast listeners, for example, and some of the YouTube followers and stuff, it'd be really cool just to understand your psychology and your mindset. Like, I know you've done a heaps of personal development. Yes, we knew each other previously from a network marketing company, which was heavily made sure that personal development was a huge factor with it. And I know you and I have that background, which is great. But do you want to just sort of like take yourself back to before you were even gotten started any of that kind of personal development stuff, and sort of what made you want to get into this field or get into that line of work, or being able to look at multiple streams of income, being a single mum. There's so many single mums out there who might be like looking but just feel like they can't do it, or haven't, well, not a single mum, sorry, I meant like a full-time mum, being out there and like, so many want to do it, but then they feel like, oh, they just can't. What would be your advice to them and how you made that jump?
Well, so I was brought up in quite a strict religion as a kid, and my mum left that when I was 11. And after that, it was like the whole world shifted for me. I was told no, 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 my whole life. Couldn't do this, couldn't do that. Didn't celebrate birthdays, all the stuff that a lot of people just, I guess, don't even realize there's people out there that don't do that. So that's where it really stemmed for me. And I guess I was just the black sheep in my family. I was always like, why do we go to work? Like, why do I have to do this? Like, I just questioned everything. I was just like, I don't understand. So like, even in high school, I just remembered like being in school and I was like, why am I learning this? Like, what is this going to do for my future? Like, I just questioned everything. And I think it used to really annoy people, but people were like, just follow what everyone's doing. And I was like, but everyone's just following everyone. Like, I don't understand, like, who makes these rules? And it just really opened me up to really question stuff, because I was brought up in a way that it was like, this is a way to do it, and this is what I've got to do. And it was like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, like all this sort of stuff. And once I got out of that, I was like, whoa, like this whole world, all these people, all this stuff that I thought I believed and was told to believe was completely different. And I had to go and explore the world and find out who I was and try all the things, And I remember it coming to high school and everyone was talking about university and doing all this stuff. And I was just like, no way. Like, I don't want to go to school for another 4 years. Like, I don't even know what I want to do with my life. So I was like, I wanted to travel, right? So I was looking into like flight attending and stuff, but my birthday was like at a weird time, like it's at the end of the year. And they were like, oh, you won't be able to fly around Australia if you do flight attending, like you can't go international. And I was like, no, that's not what I want. Like, I want to travel, Anyway, I decided to join the Navy. So at 17, I jumped into the Defense Force, and it was the craziest thing. Every single person in my existence was just like, what are you doing? Like, you've never been to a gym before? Like, do you know what you're getting yourself into? And I was like, no, I'm just going to like go with it. And just before I actually did that, I read the book, The Secret, and I learned about the law of attraction and understood, I suppose, coming from a spiritual background, I wasn't like sure what I believed in, but energy made sense to me. I understood that things vibrated. I always had a feeling around different people or different things that felt right or didn't feel right to me. So I really like stepped into that and just decided like, yeah, I'm going to go with that. So I suppose for me, that's where it like kind of stemmed from, is my whole life, my whole journey. I've been a bit different, but getting into the Navy, I was so uncomfortable every single day in my recruit school that I broke through fear like I never believed I could before, fighting fires and pretending to be drowning and shooting guns and just learning all the stuff that I learned and overcome there, that when I first went there was like, there's no way I can do this, right? Like, this is crazy stuff. Like, I'm a 17-year-old scrawny little girl who's never been to the gym before, and I'm in the Defense Force. Like, this does not make sense. But I was like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And my pop was in the Vietnam War. And I remember he used to send me these amazing, I guess, affirmations, what you would call them now, and like scripts that were really powerful and empowering. And I was like, what is this stuff you're sending me? Because I'd have some days I'd just cry myself to sleep, terrified about what I'd have to overcome the next day. And then I'd overcome it. And it would be like, I could do anything. I could do anything. And then again, something would hit me and I was like, oh my God, I got to do this again. And just in those 11 weeks, it just transformed my life in a way of like, just the belief that like, if you truly believe you can do something, no matter how crazy, scary, uncomfortable it is, once you actually overcome it, it's just like, it's the best feeling. I suppose it's like if you've ever been skydiving before and you jump out of that plane and you land on the floor and you're just like, I'm invincible, man. Like I can do anything I want to do with my life. And then I was in the Navy and I started, like, I loved my job. I loved what I did. And then I just started to see a lot of people in the job who were unhappy and who were stuck and who were like 40 or 50. And because of the income we earned in that platform, they hadn't had any other choice. Like it was like, oh, if I got out, like what would I do? And I was meant to do 4 years. I would have been 21 when I got out. And I was like, I'll still be young enough to like, just do stuff. And I thought, it was a great way to travel and I got to travel for free. So it was cool, meeting lots of people. Like it was the best. But it was always a stepping stone for me too. I was never like a lifer or anything, it was just like a way for me to explore the world, leave everything I knew, meet a whole lot of new people and grow. And and then I obviously connected into the network marketing business. And for me, it was the positivity, it was the energy of the people that got me hooked. Like I didn't even care what they were selling or what they were talking about. I was just like, I love this energy and I just want to be in this like nutrition club with you like you guys. Like in my workplace, everyone is depressed, smoking, drinking, hating their life. And I'm like, what is going on? I don't want to be around this. And I started to really, I guess, understand how important who you surround yourself with is, because I started drinking, luckily never got into smoking, but I really started to go down a hole that didn't align with who I wanted to be. And I started to question things again, like, why am I still in this job? Yeah, I make good money, but does that make sense if I'm not happy? Like I've traveled, I've done what I wanted to do. And then, jumped into business. And I was like, I want that choice of being able to work for myself. And then, met my now husband and basically just decided like, like I didn't want to just fall in the trap of having a job, even if it was in a military job. That's my daughter, if you can hear in the background. I just didn't want to fall in the trap. And I guess like all those little things, like every single little stepping stone, it's kind of like when people say like this, the intuition or following the breadcrumbs, like you don't know where you're going to lead, but if you follow what feels right for you and you go off that and you just grow through things, you eventually, obviously the person that I am today is because of all that stuff that I did. And even like in network marketing, like I was in a top position, but I realized I wasn't getting paid for what I was worth. The pressure of having to start over every month. Even though I love the products, love the community, and I loved a lot of stuff about it. And I'd given 6 years to the company. There was a point where it was like, again, like, is this can I see myself doing this for next, like forever? Like, can I see this the next 10 years? And when it was like, no. And I really looked at that and felt into that. And then again, shifting and changing. And like, I think for everything, some people just get complacent because they're like, oh, cool. Yeah, I was really happy doing this, but I have to stay now, I have to commit to this because I've done this. And I think you can fall through that trap in personal development of like, don't give up. Like when you give up, that's when it's going to happen. You know what I mean? But it's like, well, if you're not happy with what you're doing, change it. Like you're on a tree, change it. Like you have the choice to change at all times. And I love that flexibility and what's happening right now. Like it's all been about physical health. And I feel like we're in a real mental health space. And I feel like we're moving into even an energetic health space in the future. And I feel like people are being more open-minded about ways to make money. And unfortunately, it takes COVID or something to happen, people not being able to have work or something big in your life to do with your finances that makes you just sort of shake up and go, okay, like, what really can I do? What do I actually have control over? And I love that trading kind of gives you back a bit of control in that sense. Like what happened with you in lockdown and everything, and now you've been able to develop a skill set, and you're like, yeah, cool, close for 2 months, it doesn't matter, like I'm still able to pay my bills and live, and I'm not living in the fear. Like you don't have to be fearful about what's happening on the outside, that you have that control over what's happening. Did that answer your question? I thought
You answered my question and then went well and truly above, but I love it. Like, just, I know you give out so much value. So that's really, really cool. But if I was to, like, I guess, summarize all that for someone, for a listener's perspective, is if we go way back, I didn't even know you did the Navy. That was really cool. So thank you for telling me that.
Oh, really? That's funny. Okay.
But that's like huge, you know, especially that time going back then, you know, it wasn't very renowned for females to head into that workforce for sure. You know, you're sort of looking back then. And so for that, that's a huge thing to get out of the comfort zone, like just for anyone in general, but let alone as well as a female to go into that field is awesome. But, you know, you just knew at an early age, like myself, I just didn't want to live the norm. You question things like, why do we need to do this? Why do we need to do that? Like very early, you develop that critical thinking aspect of your life to question what's the current narrative or what's being pushed right forward. So that's really, really cool that you're able to make that transition. And then you use that analogy of skydiving is really, really good. Like, you know, I like that. But at the same token, you've still got to do the work to get yourself into the plane, into that position to be able to jump out, you know? So that's where a lot of people unfortunately don't. They don't gain the knowledge, they don't gain the tools, they don't give themselves that self-belief or confidence to get into the plane in the first place.
And I think
cool.
I did a post actually the other day, and it was about, because like a lot of people can have the strategy in business or whatever they're doing, but without the mindset or the energetics aligning, and without you, like you can have the same strategy, same person doing the exact same thing, but if their mentality is not right, they're not going to get the results. It's going to be completely different. Like you can give them everything possible, but that person has grown up completely different to you. Their belief systems, their identities, their limiting beliefs, like everything that's holding them back is completely different to you. So you can't potentially do it all for someone. Like they have to do something. Like people need to step up and do something themselves. And it's personal development, you know, it's personal. It's different for every single one of us. I'm going to say hello. And especially becoming a mom, like that just changes dramatically everything, because your whole time schedule, it's everything you do, you don't have control. They control your time, they control everything. And getting in business and running that as a mom to when I wasn't a mom, and how much time I had, and it just really puts it in perspective. But again, it's a choice. Like you've got to choose. You either choose to just settle and work a job and be happy with your, you know, being on a capped payment and living that life and just, you know, following the norm, or you can do something different and actually be happy. Like some people I know are totally happy. They love what they do and they love to work, and that's awesome. But for me, that wasn't my path. Hey, and no matter what, you know, hey, oh.
Someone wants to have a nap, but I think we woke them up. We got a little one up. She's so adorable.
That's like, I'll pick you up. Sit down and see everybody.
Well, I guess now that you are a mum, you know, and you've got your hands full, and Sam had her first birthday. Happy birthday too! A couple of days.
Yes, I know. She's fun now. Crazy.
Fun. Wow. So how is that like? Because I know you're still working just as hard. You know, you're still, you know, hustling, still posting, still inspiring and motivating other people. How are you juggling that at the moment?
So I guess like every day is different. So like before her, like every day I had a certain routine and what I did, like, but now it's going with what feels right for me and in flow. And obviously when she sleeps, I can get work done. When obviously my partner's home, he helps out as well. And I just do it around her. Like this is my life now, you know, just like when I was in the Navy and I worked my network marketing business around that for 6 months. I just did what I could. Like I used to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and do flyers before I went to work when I very, very first started. So it's just that discipline and that commitment to what you want. And if you know sort of the outcome after in your head and you have that visionary mindset, it's not hard, you know. And if you love what you do, or you have a purpose behind what you do that's bigger than you, you'll always win. if it's always dependent on you or just something that's not really driving you. Like some people are driven by money and others are driven by time. And I think that changes over your life. But also I'm really driven by impact. Like I don't want to just die and not be remembered. You know, I've got big goals. So, oh, hello. Put mummy's headphone out. Yeah, so I've got big goals and I always have. And I just feel like, you know, some people are happy to just watch Netflix all day. I would prefer to put my head in a book and learn and grow. Like I love to develop myself. That's just a part of who I am. And I'm always up for learning and growing and changing and yeah.
Yeah, of course, and that's really, really important. So I think, well, I know we're not, I know Cinna's going to get real upset if I keep keeping mummy too busy for too long. But I think, so now we'll go into a little bit of the trading, and we'll get you back another time and we'll do another podcast because we can talk about heaps of stuff and do another interview. That'd be really, really cool. But your trading journey now thus far, so you've been for 6 weeks. We're into live trading now. Do you want to chat a little bit about like how you're going with that, how you found it, the process, and how you're feeling so far?
Yeah, cool. So yeah, obviously at the beginning, I think, like I said, I didn't know if it was going to be hard or easy. It was basically learning something completely different, but again, was really open-minded and just took my time. And I feel like just like not putting the pressure on it, you know, just really letting myself have that time to learn what I needed to learn and what to look out for. And then I would like watch something and then watch someone else do something and just sort of take what worked for me. Again, we're just thing with the kid here, but that's okay. But yeah, so basically like just at nighttime was the best time for me to just jump on. So I had that full focus while she was, you know, asleep or while my partner was home. And at the beginning, I think for me too, was just like the patience factor. Like sometimes I just jump in too quick because I just wanted to get the trade done because it was like, yep, cool, I need to get this trade done. And I've learned over time that's obviously not the way you need to trade. And again, it comes to your mentality. Like some days you probably shouldn't trade. Like if you're having a bad day or things are frustrating you or things aren't working in your favor, don't go and try to trade. Like it's all connected, right? So I know when I'm feeling really good and like it's just like one of those things. It's a neutral feeling now. There's no like pressure on it. It's not like gambling because you're learning a skill set so you understand why and when you're going into the trade. And I think once you actually learn that and understand that, it becomes easier, it becomes more fun. Like I love it now. It's kind of like a new addiction for me in a good way.
Yeah.
And yeah, like obviously with you, I just send you what I'm doing and like might check in if I'm unsure about something or just to show you like when I was doing my demo trades, like I am trading every day, even if I'm not, I wasn't officially trading then, just using demo trades. And like I love the whole compounding thing. Like you don't have to like the risk factor with the percentages of your trades, but also the oh darling, the percentages of your trades, but also the sorry.
Yeah, the compound factor, the compounding trades are
do like 20 a day, and that really adds up over time. So that's basically how I started, and then just compounded my winnings, and then went up and up. And it's super exciting because you get to really see that benefit and that growth and where you'll be. It's not one of those things that you do for like 3 months. It's something that you continually do, and you get to see where you'll be in like a year just from doing that. And anyone can do it, like mums especially.
Exactly, and you're a prime example and living proof right now, as the little one attacks you, that anyone can do it. And it's so true though. Like I think a lot of people get into the misconception of like, to come in trade, you got to have $10,000, $5,000, whatever it is, just to be able to be a trader.
Yeah, I think I like $200 and to start. And I just, like I said, I was trading like $20, and then if I had 80% win, I don't know what that is, like 35 I'm not good with maths, whatever that is. And then I would just trade that. And again, you're just trading your winnings as well. So you're not like losing big money if you do make a loss. But the way that the platform really works with you, like you can even go on to live trades with people, and while they're trading, these professional traders that have been doing this for years and years and years, you can jump on and do it as well. And you know, I've been obviously using the what's that program I've been using?
Cash App.
Is it Hourglass?
Hourglass, yeah.
Or Cash App? Yeah, Hourglass. Yeah, that's been awesome too, especially as a mama. Like if I haven't been on there for a while, I can sort of check in and see what they're looking at, because sometimes there's different score points on there, and I'll go on there and I can use that and go, oh, okay, where did they get that information from, and use that to like go back and look at the confirmations and go, cool, that's what I would have seen too. So I've been able to use both ways to trade, but also just for my learning and growth in and trade in the skill set, I guess, which has been awesome. So it's there's so many ways that you can do it. And obviously we're really big on HFX, and I'm really glad I started that way, because it was, you know, I've only been in for 6 weeks, and I think I'm up to 1,500 or something now from my 200 that I had. That's just compounding.
Yeah, wow.
From my wins. Hey.
Yeah, I knew I hadn't actually spoke to you about how much profit your account was into now, which is awesome. That's really cool.
And like I said, I really started slow. Like, and like when I did my demo trades, I was like, you know, $1,000 all the way. But when you're actually new, you're like, okay, let's do 20, let's do 50. Like, but yeah, you get that confidence. And then once you've won, like, you know, pretty much, I think I've only lost 1 trade since really getting into it. And I know why, because I was too fast in, I just missed it. But yeah, you learn from the ones that you lose too. Like, it's not about like, you know, your failure because you lost 1 or 2 or whatever. It's just like, okay, cool, why did you lose that? Like, what, and learn from that. So when you do it again, you know why. And like everything in life with the losses, that's the way you learn the most, right? It's not normally the good times and the good stuff that's happening. It's the hardest stuff. It's the challenging stuff. Hey. Yes.
That's right. Agreeing with us. I just finally, I guess, sort of recap as to what you said, because I know some listeners won't know. So to give you an idea for everyone out there, is the platform. So not only is there education modules where you learn how to trade on the way that we're doing, which is HFX, binary option trading, but there's also live video content. So you just jump on, it'd be a bit like this Zoom. You jump onto a live educator, because they've got the heaps of educators around the world, and they basically come on and they just tell you what they're looking at, and they'll sometimes do live trade calls so you can copy them. So sometimes if I'm had a busy week, if I'm doing lots of things, if I can't get to the computer and do my own analysis, I'll just jump onto a live and watch what they're doing, and also or use it as what you said, as just reference points. When earlier in the start, when I first started, was just to see, well, I'd probably enter the trade here right now. What are they looking at, or what are they looking at? And then can I see and find it on my own trading view as well? So, and that's why, for me personally, why I'm still using the subscription-based platform, because I still learn from it. I gain value from it. Like, it's common sense. You know, the couple $100 a month it costs for me to look at that platform, you know, the amount of money that I've got in return on that is, you know, 10x, 20x that in the time frame that I've been around for. So, and you've seen that benefit too, you know, with what basically 4 or 5x in your account now too. And what you're creating though, you're literally creating your own superannuation, but your own high interest savings account. You know, why I don't understand, again, coming back to the banking system, this is what got me in the realm of why things are like the way they are, with forcing us into a job, forcing us in debt, forcing us into, you know, living a lifestyle that we don't want to. And we put our money in a bank where we get, you know, 0.1, 0.125%, which are only going to go lower with this COVID crap going on. Inflation is going to go through the roof. The interest rates are going to go down. Credit ratings are going to go, like, you need to understand that trading is, for me, I'm so passionate about it, because it's going to be a life skill that we are going to need to learn how to do if you are going to survive, because the dollar won't exist in 4 or 5 years. I can see that'll be vastly reduced, things like that. So It's been really cool to see for me with the trading I'm doing. I'm just compounding. I've got a very substantial amount of account now that I've grown. Now that's going to be my long-term savings account, superannuation. Again, why get that 1.2 or 0.15% or whatever the crap it is when I can create 6%, 7%, 9% growth on my account daily? So it's been really, really good. Would you sort of agree with how you've seen that?
Oh yeah, 100%. And when I got into the crypto space, it was all about that long-term wealth, And when you Google, you can Google compound wealth, and that truly is the way to make money. And it's like 2% a day. It doesn't have to be like these big numbers, but I think I had I had 10 grand in account for Sienna, and I made like $100 that year off that money for her, like setting up account for her. And I was just like dumbfounded. I was like, there's so many other ways out there that you can make that money to 100,000 or even more than that, and trading, it's now, it also, I think the perspective of money has changed for me, because now I see like $50 and I'm like, I can turn that to $500, $500, I can turn that to $5,000. Like, it's just the perception of it. It's like, okay, cool, this is what I've got, but I know I can make more money off the money I have. And it's like, it's a real empowering feeling, because cool, maybe you have a bill come in, maybe you have I don't know, parking fine or something, and you're like, okay, cool, that's $200. I can be like, no probs, I'll just trade. I'll get on the trade today, make $200, no problem, and you can do that, and you can, have that compound wealth growing, but you can also have an income stream for yourself. And I know so many mums out there that are just stuck on Centrelink payments, and my God, you cannot live off that. Like, I actually, like, it was such an eye-opener to me, because I was like, in a relationship, which, I'm so blessed for, but I've always been very independent on myself and wanted to have my own financial support, and never want women to stay in relationships or stay in situations because of money. Like, you never want to be in that place of having to do something you don't want to do because of money, like, life's too short for that. Like, yeah, I just think it's such an amazing way for people to not just make money, but just grow mentally and learn a skill set. I mean, people spend 20, 30, 40, 50, 100K on these uni degrees that they don't even get jobs for. Nothing's guaranteed from that, where if you just spent an hour a day or even half an hour a day, but consistently, and like over time grew that to learn something that you can make money in minutes when you needed to, like, it's a no-brainer to me. Like, like, it's just, yeah, like, now I'm dumbfounded, like, not knowing about this 5 years ago. Like,
I know.
But it's a perfect timing for all of us.
True.
And yeah, and especially people who are in businesses. Like, if you've got a business and network marketing or affiliate marketing, or you're a coach or something, this is something you can do on the side. Like, you don't have to tell anyone you're doing this if you don't want to. Like, this is purely something you could be doing to earn money. But if you're like me and Dom, and you're wanting to like actually make impact and help people, then you can do that too. And you can make residual income, which I love that you've got the choice. And again, it just all comes back to your values and why you do what you do, I guess.
Yeah, 100% right. And that's what I love as well. The fact I had the option. I didn't really talk about it at all for a month, because I just wanted to purely learn the skill set, do it for myself. Finally found something that's purely reliant on just me. I didn't have to sell it to anyone. I didn't have to talk to anyone. I didn't have to rely on people following through. All that kind of rubbish. It was just me. Let's go. Let's see if I can do this and get this to work. How to build, and about to impact a lot of people, which has been really, really cool. I think I guess want to touch on a little bit, because I know you're in the crypto space. I think it's really relevant right now, because a lot of people know about crypto.
Yes.
Obviously had its crazy rise. It's retracement for around about 50%. It's on a massive downtrend at the moment. I think it's found some support around that 30K mark. But what I find very interesting right now is that, because it has reduced so much, all the trending is gone. No one's talking about it. Where everyone was a Bitcoin expert a few months ago. And this is where it's like, I'm a massive crypto advocate. I personally believe that, that's going to be becoming the main source of income and transactions between people. Definitely certain people that want that to happen and take place. No longer do I believe there will be internet or just, each country currency moving forward. So But that being said, this is why I think it's really, really important. So people that are invested in crypto need to be aware of this, because crypto at the end of the day is just like stocks. You throw some money in, you hope it goes up. Yes, I've got some crypto and things that are generating me more crypto. So I'm literally putting them in yields, and they are creating me more and more crypto, which is in reality creating more money on a daily basis. But my money returns are still based on that element going up, and I need crypto to rise in price. Whereas the power when it comes to trading, this is why I'm so strong on it as well, is, and you should take some of your crypto money out and look to reinvest it into trading and create that, because you are in power, or to more of a degree, to determine the outcome. You can create more and more wealth. You get in, you get out, you get in, you get out. You're not throwing the money in hoping it goes up and then taking it out.
Yeah.
So that's been really good. How have you found, because I know you were crypto heavy first, and now I've spoken to you many times about that, and just seeing the importance of trading over crypto in a certain degree.
Yeah, so I obviously wanted to have something I could have a bit more income as well that I could use. And obviously at the time, like, I was dipping into my crypto, which doesn't really make sense because that's like the long-term wealth, but that's where I was at. So I wanted a way that I could just not have to touch that crypto money. It would just grow long-term over the next, 10, 20 years, whatever. And like you said, it's just very volatile, and it's also, it is for particular people. Like some people who have an open mind to that risk factor will be okay to do it. But I just found I wasn't collectively able to, there was none of that community base, none of that impact. It was just like purely to make money. There was a lot of that stuff missing for me. Mm-hmm. So even though I loved what I was doing in the fact that I was able to bring an income into my family, it wasn't hitting all my value points. It wasn't something that I was like, oh my God, like, I'm so excited about life. Like, I'm waking up today and making crypto. So, like it was missing all that for me. And I guess it just, again, it's that control factor, like looking at your life and going, okay, cool. Maybe you have 4 streams of income right now, but you're relying on people having to buy your service or your product, or you're having to, put so much time into this, or like just kind of looking at the worst case scenario of all the little avenues that you make your money, like you do with like the whole lockdown, if your business has to shut, etc. Like, what's your plan if that happens? And for me, even though I had the crypto going, it wasn't enough for me. So I love the factor that it was purely, like you said, like it's all dependent on you. And I hadn't had that before. I've always had to rely on other factors, business, the world, whatever was going on. So I just loved, I love that aspect that this was something no one could take away from me, and I had control over it. And it's just a really freeing, empowering feeling, especially as a woman, as a mum, and in this day and age and what's happening with the world. Like, I know that I can put food on my table. I know I can feed my daughter. I know that I can pay my bills, and I know that I can still live the life that I want to live. And I don't have to settle to, budget and freak out because what happens if the shop shut tomorrow, or like whatever. And it just takes away all that noise, the noise of what's going on in the world right now. And it just makes you be able to go, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to choose? How do I want to choose to live my life? Because you don't have all that noise. You don't have to worry. You don't have to stress. There's none of that icky energy around anything, because you have the control. You have the ability to make uncapped income, essentially. There's no real, it's uncapped income, which is kind of weird to say because everyone's so used to living this life of $20 an hour or $30 an hour, and yay, that's great. Or 10K of sales, but I have to have these 10 clients and blah blah blah, however you do what you do. But with this, it's literally just like, it's pretty mind-blowing, like when you really get into this space and realize what's possible. Sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming because like it can become like this a little bit like, oh, like I could totally just do this. And that's what I love about having the platform. It really keeps you centered. It's not about gambling your money away and risking it to make lots of money. Like, we literally teach you to start where you start and to develop, and once you get those skills and you understand it, then you can start growing that wealth factor even bigger and bigger. And it's like your mindset. It's like little steps, reading the book, going to seminars, listening to this podcast, doing these things. it's not a race, it's a marathon, you know. It takes time, and just like everything in life, like you just got to be open to whatever that time is for you, and it's different for everyone, and just be okay with failing and learning. Like when you're doing your demo trades and when you're going through it, if you don't understand something, like anything in life, like ask for help. And like that's what's so good about having trade houses. Everyone is so passionate about what they do. They're there to help you, so you're never alone. And like I've had a few people I've talked to who've just like Googled stuff how to trade, but again, it's just kind of like going to the pokey machine, and they're just like having a stab, and maybe they won money and maybe they lost, or maybe they won once and then they lost it all. And this way is a real way to just get rid of that mentality of like that quick fix. This is like a serious skill set that can set you free if you want it to, you know. Yeah.
Right.
You're doing so well, Baba.
So well. Doing so well. I want to one last little question and then we'll be done.
No, you're fine.
I think before the question though is one, I get a lot of that question asked to me, or people bring it up, you know, it sounds like it's basically like gambling. And I think that's one thing that, you know, you definitely need to lose that mentality, because it's not. It's at the end of the day, you know, betting is actual gambling, and betting in Australia, let alone the world, is actually produces more revenue than all the actors and movies in the world combined together. Believe it or not, there's really interesting statistics on that, and yet, you know, that gets pushed left, right, and centre, and we lose lots of money through that for the chance of it maybe working. And whereas with this, you know, there's a strategy involved, there's a system in place. You go through the video education modules. You've got a support network, as you said. You've got a community of other traders who are going through it as well. We have Zoom calls weekly. I really take on under my wing to make sure that all the guys who come through with me to learn, that I do all my one-on-ones with them once a week or once a fortnight once they start to get the hang of it. We've got Discord groups. There's just so much content. It can be a little overwhelming. There is a lot of support, but that's really good, because I know I've paid for programs before, not in trading, but I've done drop shipping, I've done e-commerce where I've paid like $6,000-$7,000 up front, got some information, got a PDF formula, got chucked into a Facebook group which had like 6,000-7,000 people, and then no contact or support. And it was pretty much gone. So I think it's really important that to really reiterate, there is a heap of support through this, good community, and we do focus on mindset as well, which is really important moving forward because of the way things are progressing in the world. But my last question that I wanted to ask you was, well, not so much question, it's more of an if you were listening to this right now and you are just starting in your entrepreneurial business, or you're at home, you're a mum, full-time mum, you might be a single mum watching this at home, and you're like, oh God, I wish I could do that. I wish I could be that, you know, I wish I could do what you're doing right now. I just can't seem to want to do it. Like, what would be your advice for that person who's just like sitting on the fence, just, you know, I want to try something?
Everything you desire is meant for you. Everything you think about or wish for, or, you know, envy in other people, that is a part of who you are. There's a reason why that person or that thing has come into your existence. I'm a big believer in that. So really dig deep into what that is and why. What is blocking you? Is it the fear of I'm not going to have the time to learn skill set, because you can take as much time as you want? Is it the fear of, I'm going to have to, I don't know, put myself out there? Well, you don't have to, because it can be something you can do completely anonymously. Like, you don't have to tell anyone. If you have that fear of like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough because of like money blocks, well, this is all stuff that you can uncover. It's all about asking the right questions and digging deep and deep. And it's all within you. It's all inside of you. Like, you are the co-creator of your life. So anything that you desire or want is already yours in another realm. That might be a bit big for your mind, but it is. The reason you're feeling what you're feeling or seeing what you're seeing is because it's already existing. You just have to make the decision to make that your new reality. So there's really no, like, if I look at the pros and cons to trading, it's I don't really have any cons, because it's all in your control. You get to decide. You get to decide if you want to have more value and use all the stuff that we have, or you don't. You get to decide if you want to trade every day for the week, or you don't. You get to decide how fast you want to learn how to trade. You get to decide how much money you want to trade. You get to decide everything. So there's the biggest limitation is yourself, which again, it could be the biggest limitation ever. But if you really want to change, if you really want things to be different, you have to change. Like, you can't have what you're wanting being who you are today. There's a level of growth, there's a level of action, there's a level of something that you need to do to get to that place, if that makes sense. So yeah, just really dive in, because at the end of the day, trading is a personal thing. It's to do with your own mindset, your own decisions. I very easily have said no to coming on this call and giving value and sharing because I've got my daughter home and she's not at daycare. But I just choose to do my life around her because my vision and everything is bigger. And I just do it. Like, you just show up and make it work. And I just think it's more real too. Like, if I can do this, whatever, like, she's a baby, she cries, she's a bit whingy, like, whatever, like, I don't have to feel embarrassed about that. That's just life right now for me, you know? So do it. Just like, and what's the worst that you can do? You can jump in for a month, have a look at the training, have a look at what we share. Oh, darling, we'll come to cuddle. Have a look at what we offer and just make a decision. At least have a look. Like, what have you got to lose? Like, be open-minded. The biggest thing is a closed mind. It kills so many dreams. Like, you just have to be open and see. And if what you're doing right now is not giving you the results, why the hell are you still doing it? Like, honestly, it doesn't matter if you've been in something for 3-4 years and you've been going to the same meetings. Trust me, I did it for a long time, and you're not growing and you're not learning, and your business is the same and your money isn't growing. Something needs to change. Something needs to change. I don't know what it is, but for me, I wanted that control. Obviously, Dom, you wanted that control. You didn't want to have to rely on anyone. And it's so empowering when you know that you have a way to just make shit happen when it comes to money. Like, you have a way of doing that, but you also have an amazing opportunity to surround yourself with these high impact, mindset driven entrepreneurs. And I can't tell you how beneficial it is for you, especially you're in a hard place right now, to be around people who have what you want, or be around people who take the time to really grow and develop, because they're the type of people you want to be around, because eventually you're going to be the same. Eventually that's going to rub off on you. Whoever you surround yourself with is who you become. So even for that factor, if your life is sucked right now, or you're not happy with what you want to do, jump in just for the community base and the energy of what it has to offer, and just see, like, if you've got that feeling of like, oh, I've been thinking about it, or I've been seeing this person and they're always happy and they don't have to do this, this, and this, and I'm sick of doing this, then do it. Just do it. Yeah. Say yes. Take that action and see where it leads you. You never know where something could lead you. I tell you now, 7 years ago, there's no way I thought I'd be where I am today. A mum, married, doing trading in crypto. I was a health coach who knew nothing about health and nutrition, but got paid money for it. Anyway, you just honestly, you don't know where you're going to lead, and everything that's presented to you, that is there for a reason. So if you've been sitting there and journaling and wishing and doing your affirmations and asking for more money or more things, well, hello, this is a sign. This is your sign. This is your opportunity. You've asked. Now it's your turn to take the action. Now it's your turn to be the one that changes your life. You're the only one that can do that.
Boom. Yeah, that's exactly right. As a mic drop. I absolutely love that. That was awesome. You fired me up. Like, I'm ready to go. I don't even know what I want to do, but I'm just fired up. I'm going to do some trading right now. I'm going to smash those buttons. Buy, sell, buy, sell. No, that was really good. I think in the nail head, it's like, what's holding you back? You know, I know people will go out on the weekend and spend $200, $300, $400, $500 in just in one night. You know, it doesn't even cost that much just to give this a go for 1 month, see if you'd like it, jump into the videos, especially if you've just got that little interest in just possibly, you know, looking at trading. I know a lot of people hit me up all the time now, like, oh, I've been seeing trading for ages, but I'm not too sure. It looks too scary. You know, you're just a prime example of someone who's like, yeah, it did look scary. Yeah, it did seem a little bit confusing, but you're in crypto and you're in trading. It's like, bang, here you are. That's freaking awesome. And so again, you're a huge inspiration. Thank you so much for your time, for jumping on, and you're sharing so much value. It went from a trading talk to a motivational speaker. speak, but I love that because I knew that was going to happen. So thank you so much.
I'm so glad. I wanted to give some value today, so I hope that is what I did. And yeah, just like anyone sitting on the fence or anyone that's been thinking about it, you just got to do it. Like, you don't know until you try. You don't know anything until you try. So yeah, no, it's been so cool. Thank you so much. She wasn't too bad. There's a couple of moments there, but we were okay.
I wanted to do it. Oh, I'm gonna have to really finish with the last question, but no, she did well. She did really well.
Yeah.
I'm proud of her.
She must have felt mum's energy. Like, it's okay, darling. We'll be done in a minute.
We good. All right. Thank you so much, listeners. And I'll speak to y'all again soon. If you were watching this on the Facebook, I really do appreciate if you stayed on from start to finish. Thank you so much.